The Victorian period roughly corresponds with Queen Victoria's reign in England. The reign of Queen Victoria from 1837 to 1901 was a time of change. The Victorians made great advances in science, technology, and the arts. They created a body of literature that continues to fascinate and inspire readers, artists, and scholars today. For many, the word Victorian conjures up images of overdressed women and snooty gentlemen gathering in parlors and reading rooms. Not surprisingly, women in the Victorian world had very little control over their lives. The philosophy of female emancipation, however, became a rallying point for female writers during this time. In the early years of the Victorian period, poetry was the most valued literary form. Later on, the novel replaced the poem as the most fashionable, and this shift has remained to present day. Typically, Victorian literature is realistic, thickly plotted, full of characters, and long. Victorian novels tend to be idealized portraits of difficult lives in which hard work, perseverance, love, and luck win out in the end. Virtue would be rewarded, and wrongdoers are properly punished. Now it's time for the author highlight. Charles Dickens. But first, let me get one thing straight. Dickens was not paid by the word. This implies a greedy author rambling on needlessly. The claim is untrue. Book contracts pegged Dickens' earnings on sales, not the number of words. And I mean, sure, he wanted to make money. What author doesn't? Dickens' stories popularized serial publication, and it became the way to publish novels in the 19th century. Like today's TV viewers, readers would drop in and out with each publication. Only the writers that hooked the reader would survive. He had an ear for melodrama and for quirky, memorable characters. One has a sense while reading him that he could have done a serious edit on most of his writing. Does Dickens write long books? Yes, because the serial form allowed him space to develop seemingly disparate characters from the highest and lowest rungs and then slowly reveal their connections. Like I said earlier, you might think of this as a TV show. Individually, there's only 45 minutes of show, but when you put it all together, it's ginormous. One thing worries me. When Victorian readers were slumming it and put down their Seneca and Marcus Aurelius or whatever else they were supposed to be reading, they picked up Charles Dickens in the checkout aisle. If only we were so lucky. Now we have the Twilight series and a lot of books that's something like the Greek Millionaire's Virgin Bride. Victorian literature is complex and beautiful. One of my greatest recommendations for the Victorian period is the almost forgotten author Elizabeth Gaskell, who is amazing. When most fashionable fashion Victorian women suitably